Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market's open, so you already know we are buying stocks and we are adding assets to the portfolio. What an eventful day. What an eventful week. We made a bunch of changes in the account. We kind of hinted at it as of late that I was looking to drop one of the positions, and we have cut a major portion of the dividend that's going to be coming in, and that is on ULTY. We have a lot of dividends that are coming in this week, and for the first time on Friday, we are going to hit 100% house money on CONY, so I want to look at that as well. And then we had a bunch of dividends that came in, right? We had a fresh $100 that hit the account on Monday, and then we also had a solid $550 worth of dividends that came in this week that we're looking to do some reinvesting on, right? Excuse me, a little under the weather. Account sitting at 55,331. We're pretty much at all-time highs. The account's down a little bit today. J-Powell just came out, dropped the rates, 25 bips. And market's selling off a little bit because he did not want to guarantee that we are going to get another rate cut in December, right? So as of right now, the next rate cut, which would be in December, is only sitting at about 88.2% chance that we stay the same. So as of right now, we have no guarantees that a rate cut's coming, and so the market is selling off slightly because of that. But not too worried. $55,334 right now. For the week, we're still up 6%. For the month, we're still up 3%. 3 months, 13. Year to date, up 25. 1 year, up 31. And then all time, we are still up 59%, or 20,589. And we're continuing to try and keep the momentum going. And what I mean by that is up and to the right. Now, of course, this is a high dividend yield portfolio. You guys know that. The whole reason I created this portfolio is to someday pay me $5,000 a month. But I also want to make sure that my investment isn't going down, right? And so obviously there's NAV erosion on a lot of these high yield funds. Once you get to house money, then you're pretty much risk off at that point. But as we start getting there, I want to make sure I have some good investments, and ULTY has been one that it just wasn't worth it for me, right? So we ended up cutting that one. But first things first, I want to talk about the dividends that came in. Full transparency, as always. You guys know how we do it. Since last Thursday, so the 23rd or so. So since the 23rd, we had YMAX come in at 78.65, ULTY at 180. MSTY at 21.22, which is now a weekly payer, NVDY at 12, CONY at 9.32, TSLY at 16, XDTE at 49, QDT at 49, TSLW at 71, and then HOOW at 70.28, which that one has just been a monster. And then we had today coming in at $18.91. This is a new position that we've been adding to, and that is WPay. So you could probably see the dividend came up on that one. We now have 30 shares, and WPay is sitting at 54. As of right now, we have 30 shares or $1,600 market value. We're pretty much even on the shares, and we purchased 20 shares this week on the 27th. And it cost us about $1,000. I'm probably going to continue to add to this one, especially as we transition away from ULTY. But I ended up trimming 1,000 shares. So I want to go to that real quick and look at that position and what ended up happening there. So we sold 1,000 shares. This one is now trading under $4. I had a mental note in my head that if this ever hit $4, it's just the writing's on the wall, right? They're just not doing a good job at managing this fund. Obviously, they're creating a dividend, but the dividend just keeps going down and the fund keeps going down with it, right? If you want to look at this over the past month, we're down 9%, past 3 months down 21%, year to date down 44.95. Now, the good thing was this experiment is going to cost me a little bit in taxes, but we ended up getting out for more than what we got in. And what I mean by that is on the 1,000 shares that we sold, we lost about $1,100 in share value, but we collected about $1,150 worth of dividends on that 1,000 shares. So we ended up making about $50 overall with total return. But of course, there's going to be taxes with that. So it really just wasn't worth it. So that's where we're sitting on the ULTY position. I have trimmed it now down to 1,000 shares, which is $5,000 market value. My goal is I'm just going to let this ride for maybe another month or so, and I want to see if we can get back up to the 515, 520 range. If we get there, I'll probably trim it even more. And the writing's just on the wall. This fund's just not doing great, and so we want to put money where other funds are doing better, especially on the cash secure put side in this portfolio. I'd rather just sell cash secure puts And I think I could probably outperform what ULTY was doing for me with that $5,000 by just doing that. So that's where we're sitting on the ULTY position. Full transparency, I ended up cutting 1,000 of it, and what I did is I just used that towards the margin buying power, right? So right now we're using about $5,619 worth of margin on the account. We were using about 10,000, and if I am a Robinhood Gold customer, so 1,000 of that is free. So right now we're paying on about $4,619 worth of margin on the account, with a goal over time to slowly just bring that down to zero. I don't need margin in this account. I bought it at first just to see how it'd go, and we used some margin there. But as time goes on, we are just going to continue to decrease the margin here, and we're using our dividend payouts each and every single week to lower that. So what are we doing today? Well, we're buying stuff. We have some options on the table. We have EOSE at the 12.5 put. Before Powell talked, this was up in the green, as you can see, and then as soon as Powell started speaking, it obviously went to the red. USD still has to fall probably 12-ish percent. I mean, we still got to fall, probably 12.5% before we get in the money there. So I'm not too worried about that. But if we do get there, we'll end up just rolling it out. I did not want to play a bunch of MSTX this week because we have MSTR earnings. And so I just wanted to avoid that in the event that we had some massive sell-off. So that's the play that we went on EOSE. And when we sold this, we were super safe delta. So I think we're going to be fine there. And then we have some MSTX puts out on the table. But time to buy some assets. So we got paid with QDT, and you guys know every time we get paid with QDT, we come down here and we put it into a growth asset, and that's going to be QQQ. So this position has been building up. We're at 1.1 shares now, $700 market value, up about 7% on the trade, and on the position, and we're gonna come in here and buy $50 worth of QQQ. That's just part of our long-term strategy. Another one here we're gonna be spending $50 on is gonna be JEPQ. This one has been awesome. It pays a small dividend, but we also have some really good growth in it, right? We can see here my average cost is 50. We're up 17, almost 18% on this position. And we've received dividends every single month along the way. So we're going to be buying some more of this. Of course, another 50 here. We're just going to be doing 150 today, right? 100 of that came from the cash, and then the rest of it came from the dividends that we received over the last month. And so that's where we're sitting, adding some JEPQ, adding some QQQ, and now we need to add a little Bitcoin exposure, especially on this pullback today. We're going to be buying some more BITO, one of my favorite positions, and I'm just going to keep stacking. This is more my Bitcoin bag, but it gives me a nice dividend as well. So we're going to keep stacking, especially if we can lower the cost basis right now at the 1988. We've collected, I want to say like $2,000 worth of dividends from this particular ticker. So this one has been doing really good. As of late, it's been struggling, of course, but I still like the Bitcoin exposure in this one, so we're letting that be. And then the last one, that's all the purchases we're going to be making today. I did want to see this CONY. We have 100 shares left. We put this on house money, and it's crazy to think that we're actually there, and I want to talk about that. So let's jump into first the dividends that are going to be coming this week. So if I come back here and I take a look at YieldMax, it's kind of annoying now that they pay weekly. I know some people like it. For me, I liked the monthly, but now I got a lot more paperwork to do each and every single week. Someday, maybe I'll do API calls if Robinhood allows that. But here's where we're sitting as of right now. Coney is coming in at 13.45 cents. We had just $10 or $9 and some change to hit house money. And so we are 100% going to reach house money on CONY. Some more for me. We're going to have, let's just see, scroll down here. MSTY at 19.24. So we'll collect almost $20 there. MBDY coming in at 18, so another $18 there. And then TSLY at 11, and not too bad. So that's where we're coming in there. Some really good payouts overall, honestly. And I'll take it. So those are all the payouts that are going to be coming into the account. Couple $100 each and every single week. Of course, we're going to have a dip now that we have taken 1,000 shares of ULTY. It's going to reduce our dividend income, but at the end of the day, I think it's a better move, and I think there's going to be some better funds out there. So where are we sitting for the year? Where are we sitting for the month? Because we're pretty much, outside of the payout that comes in on Friday, we're pretty much done for the month. It's probably going to be, it's going to be a record-breaking month. Just depending on how everything comes in, but we're sitting at $2,568 of dividend income so far this month, $18,163 for the year. So we're about halfway to my goal. My goal is $5,000 a month in pure passive dividend income, and then we just set it on chill mode. And I think as we continue to get closer to the goal, obviously now we're going to pull back a little bit, shave in some ULTY. But as we continue to build the cash balances, as we continue to reinvest dividends, slowly but surely, it's just going to tick up. You can see if you look at October 2 years ago, we were at 123. October last year, we were at 1,237, 2,500 this year. There's a really good possibility we're sitting at, 3,200, 3,500 at this time next year. And then maybe in 2 years, we'll be at $5,000 a year. It just depends how much money I end up putting towards this portfolio and how much I siphon off of my options profit. So that's where we're sitting as of right now. We've hit the goal for the month. We're 72% of the way to the $25,000 goal. Right now, we're probably on pace to hit about, I'd say $21,000, $22,000 for the dividend income for this year, which is not too bad. We're still averaging, $60 to $70 a day in dividend income if you look at it. And it's slowly coming in. So ULTY is going to drop down next month. We're at 700-ish right now. We'll probably end up around the 300-ish mark next month, depending on how things are. But things are looking good. I did want to talk about, let's pull this up here. Yeah, so you can see here on the BITO, we've collected 1,863. Just wanted to touch on that since we just bought some. But the options have been building really nicely, right? Since we've used Robinhood's margin, we haven't had any assignments, I don't think the entire year. And we've collected $3,000 in options income. And then we take all of that options income and we literally just throw it right into more dividend funds. And so $592 so far collected this month. We'll see how Friday ends up with EOSE. I mean, if we pull back another 12% in the next 2 days, it's very possible that we go in the money and we have to end up having to roll those. But I don't see it happening. Today was pretty bad news and we're only down 5%. We can still take another 2 days of 5% days before we go in the money. So I think we'll be good on that one. And then we'll start looking at some puts into next week. We'll see how the market likes earnings, but that's where we are. And then new record breaking month, right? 2,568 so far. We have more dividends coming in on Friday that are going to continue to roll in. And so we will end up taking that money and just reinvesting it over and over and over each and every single month. So that's where we're sitting there. I want to touch on the house money real quick here. I guess we can look at this as well. So this is, you guys know every single week we look at QDT, XDT, YMAX. And this is where we are. So right now, QDTE, we're collecting that. I mean, it's pretty consistent, honestly, $49 to $50 each and every single week. We're now sitting at a 26.22% total return. That's even with NAV erosion. We've obviously collected $3,250 worth of dividends. And so we're looking really good there. We take that money every single week and we just throw it right into QQQ. So 26.22% total return on QDT, XET at 15.5%. ULTY was at 1.27%. I need to adjust this now that we have trimmed 1,000 shares. It's going to change everything around significantly. But we were, like I said, we made about $50 on the $1,000 sell, even though the shares had dropped so much. Luckily, we had received a bunch of dividends. So that's where we're at on ULTY. And then YMAX, we hit the 500 shares. We're chilling on those. We're getting anywhere between $70 and $80 each and every single week. And then we just take that money and reinvest it into other assets. So 14.55% total return there. And that's where we're sitting. House money. I'm so stoked about this. It's crazy to think it took us a lot of months to get here, but we needed we needed $5.47 in order to hit Coney's house money. You guys saw the dividends that are coming in this week. Finally, we have hit house money on the first one. Now, once we have hit house money, that money we can reinvest into other assets, and we are 100% risk-free, right? I spent $1,597 to buy 100 shares. Those shares are now worth, I don't know, $600, $700, $800, depending on the day. And I've already received all my money back, which is a pretty powerful place to be in. There's really no way to lose. I could sell all 100 of those shares right now, take the $600, $700 gain and be done with the asset. Or now I can just let it go on money printing mode, which is what I'm going to do and what I am looking to do with MVDY, MSTY, and TSLL, right? They're going to take a while. Now maybe it'll come a little bit faster with the weekly payouts. It really, I don't know, it's probably not going to change anything, but we are finally at house money. So that's where we're sitting in the account. Big month, record breaking month. Sorry again, I'm under the weather, Voice probably sounds a little bit different, but it is what it is when you have little kids. So appreciate everybody as always. Happy investing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new rate cut. Hopefully that helps you if you're using margin or if you're using or looking to get some type of loan product. Hopefully it helps you save a little bit of money there. Appreciate everybody. As always, happy investing, and we'll catch you next time.